Coming up in the news tonight, police investigating 2 shooting incidents overnight. Tonight, we find out how cancer patients are coping amidst COVID-19 threat. And some government offices are now open. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, one man is dead and another is fighting for his life following 2 separate shooting incidents overnight. Both shootings taking place within an hour's span, and now police are trying to determine if both shootings are connected. Jay Philippe has more.
The first incident occurred on Monday, April 21st, 2020, shortly before 7 p.m. Police received information of a shooting incident on Hillary Avenue, where it was reported that a male, while standing in front of a residence on Hillary Avenue, was shot multiple times about the body by persons in a vehicle. He was taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital via ambulance, but later succumbed to his injuries. The second incident occurred a short time later, shortly before 8 p.m. Police received another report of a shooting incident in Hawksbill, where it was reported that a male, while standing in the area of Inagua Way, Hawksbill, was fired upon and shot about the body multiple times by culprits in a vehicle. He was taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital via private vehicle, where he is listed in critical condition. Police are aggressively investigating these matters and are appealing to the general public for any information that can assist in these investigations to give them a call at numbers 350-3106-12, 919-911, or call your nearest police station. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Now, ZNS News has learned that a suspect is in custody in connection with the shooting incident in Hawksbill. Meantime, police are seeking your help in locating a suspect wanted for questioning on the charge of murder. The suspect is 25-year-old Kevin Clinton Smith, aka Blue, a resident of Bimini Place, Hawksbill. Smith is 5 feet 6 inches tall, 110 pounds, dark brown complexion, slim build, with dark brown eyes. Police say he is considered armed and dangerous. If you can help police locate Kevin Clinton Smith, aka Blue, you should call 911-352-1919 or 350-3106-9. In other news, here on Grand Bahama, the fight continues to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And while there has been no new cases in the past 2 weeks, health officials say we are not in the clear just yet. We spoke with the chairperson for the Grand Bahama Health Services COVID-19 Task Force for an update on those testing positive for COVID-19. Rumiko Knowles has this story.
The number of cases in Grand Bahama stands at 7. Chairperson of the Grand Bahama Task Force Health Services, Frank Bartlett, says it is unfortunate that 2 persons died and notes that the remaining 5 patients testing positive for COVID-19 showed mild symptoms and did not require extended hospitalization.
The 2 persons that were deceased were an 80-year-old male. He would have been in hospital for several days prior to being deceased on April 4th. The second was a 51-year-old female who passed on April 6th. All of the other patients who have tested positive have been managed at home, and they're doing very, very well at home. One of the cases that are reported in the Grand Bahama figures is a patient that would have been transferred from Freeport into Nassau, so we're not having any direct care in that patient. But otherwise, our patients so far are doing very, very well.
The island's latest patient testing positive for COVID-19 is a 25-year-old male and is the son of the deceased patient that passed on April 6th. Bartlett says he too is doing well and should be released later this week.
One of the things we want to reiterate from Grand Bahama Health Services is that even though we have only 7 patients, this is no time to be relaxing our public health and our social measures. The public health measures basically means that you still want to be doing hand washing, cough etiquette. We are required to wear a mask whenever we're out in public, and we want to make sure we adhere to that part of it. As it relates to social measures, we want to enforce again minimizing travel. We're supposed to be on lockdown. We want to be making sure that we maintain our social distance. That has been reiterated over and over by from the political side and also from the health arena.
Now, while the lockdown measures seem to be having a positive impact mitigating community spread, Bartlett says there are some challenges and they're in need of the public's assistance.
At times when we are called from home, we don't get a very clear representation as to what the call is about. And sometimes the calls, we get a call, for example, for some minor ailment to find that they would have had chest pain or shortness of breath. Or we find that when they're being interviewed, the story is completely different from what they would have given the ambulance department. The healthcare workers are on the front line. They need to know exactly what they're dealing with when they go to pick up patients. So it's very, very important that as much as possible you represent exactly what the problem is when you are calling for assistance from the healthcare workers.
Over the past 2 weeks, he says the majority of calls coming into the health services and EMS hotline has been non-COVID related. On average, he says they may receive about 4 to 6 calls per day with persons complaining about respiratory illnesses. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
A number of government offices reopening in an effort to provide essential services needed by members of the public. The Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, advising the public that national insurance is open on a limited basis. He says persons can also visit the National Insurance website to apply for the unemployment benefit and also the special self-employed unemployment benefit, which is also available.
We also want to advise on some of our other government services. The Registrar General's office is closed to the public. However, persons should be aware that they are taking information with respect to death certificates, and they are taking that information directly from those funeral homes, and those funeral homes will pass the information directly to the Registrar General's office. So they are open with respect to dealing with death certificates on that basis.
The minister notes that the Registrar General's office is also available with respect to new births. The Treasury Department in Grand Bahama also opening to the general public on Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Dealing with processing of important checks, particularly social services checks, vendor payments, weekly salaries, pensions, and other payments. We also want to advise that the VAT department, starting Monday, today the 20th of April, that they began operations on a very limited basis on the ground floor of the Harold de Gregory building, which is the same building that the Office of the Prime Minister is in, for the purpose of stamping conveyances and mortgage documents, permits, affidavits only, and persons can come Monday through Thursday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon for the purpose of dropping off documents only, and then they will be contacted once those documents are completed.
The Road Traffic Department has also reopened its doors. Deputy Controller Wellborn Boodle thanking members of the public for adhering to the rules and regulations and operating in an orderly fashion.
We have a system where persons do not come inside. We have runners who would go to them, collect their documents, and ensure that everything is in order. And we were able to move over 200 persons between 9 and 12:30. So the system, it went smoothly. Everything went as planned. And as the minister mentioned earlier, we have an appointment system where we gave out persons who came after that time. Just to prevent the crowd, we give them appointment cards, so they'll be coming tomorrow.
The Office of the Prime Minister launching a suggestions platform on its website, opm.gov.bs. The platform will serve as a central point for the collection of non-health related suggestions related to the national response to COVID-19. The platform would be established to allow all Bahamians and residents an opportunity to participate in the rebuilding of the Bahamas in a post-COVID-19 environment. Bahamian academics, historians, and researchers are also being invited to provide a more comprehensive perspective on the best way forward. To send in a suggestion, visit www.opm.gov.bs, select the Suggestion tab on the home page, fill in the form, and click on the Submit button. It was also noted that while all submissions may not be acknowledged in writing, please be assured that they will be read and, where necessary, forwarded to the relevant parties for consideration. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, making an impassioned appeal to corporate Bahamas this past weekend as he addressed the nation on measures in place to combat the spread of COVID-19 while also safely reopening businesses to provide economic relief. The Prime Minister called out Bahamian-owned businesses for laying off hundreds of Bahamians that have worked decades to build these businesses.
I am extremely disappointed when I see Bahamian companies laying off individuals who had worked with them 10, 20 years, who had made them wealthy, who had given them the opportunity to send their children to university, both here and abroad, who have given them opportunities for their children to become professionals and leaders in this country, who have given them opportunity to live in lavish homes and have great lives, individuals, Bahamians, who are from humble beginnings, but who have made sacrifices to make fellow Bahamians wealthy and living good. And yet, after all the sacrifices these Bahamians did, those who have attained wealth have laid off such Bahamians.
Now, the country reported its first case just over 1 month ago. However, many businesses have already fired scores of employees nationwide. The Prime Minister appealing to business owners to rethink these actions.
I ask you, are you humane? Where is your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul? Please, let's be humane and consider those individuals who have made great sacrifices to make you what you are today. But as soon as things get tough, you want to retain and hold on to all you've got and continue to take advantage of individuals. I plead and I ask all Bahamians today, let us not be human beings, but let us be humane.
Well, the president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is giving his take on the Prime Minister's comments as it relates to the business community laying off employees. Italia Hall has more.
The president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, Gregory LaRota, says he does not fully agree with the Prime Minister's comment on business owners laying off employees during the COVID-19 pandemic. He says he would not have made the statement.
I think I could understand sometimes the frustrations and maybe he had some personal experience. I don't think he was talking to the business community in general, but obviously speaking and not being specific, that's how it's looked at. I believe, especially here on Grand Bahama, most of the businesses are trying their best to maintain their employees.
He says when it comes to Grand Bahama, there are challenges because a lot of business owners on Grand Bahama just do not have the finances.
Especially the majority of small business, it isn't that they don't have a heart, so I'm sure they would take exception to that. So it may not have been the best thing to say. I don't know if he planned to come back and maybe clarify more or be more specific with what he was talking about, but I I think most of the business community would take offense to it, and I don't think a whole lot of companies fall in that category where they may have reserves of finances but just choose not to keep employees.
But to those who may be letting persons go during this difficult time, the chamber president had this to say.
Exercise compassion, exercise some sort of constraint where, to the extent, even if it means them going into some profit that they would have saved up over the years, to try as much as possible to maintain staff, because when this is over, they're going to need probably some of those same staff again in any event. So try to work with them, work with National Insurance, and see how they can keep those persons employed as long as possible so that they can continue to have some sort of income to be able to take care of themselves and their families.
It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
And coming up in the news, a group of teachers preparing care packages for their students. Don't go away, that story when we come back.